So today I am going to start the chapter number 4, that is Maxwell's equations. So in this chapter, most of the things are based on equation, only equation, equation, equation. Already we have seen all the laws now in electrostatics and in magnetostatics, like Gauss law, Stokes theorem, Coulomb's law. All laws we have seen, and those laws are now represented in terms of equations. So why we are going to use this equation? What are their shortest form? What are their different form, like integral form or point form? These, how these things are related to each other, that we are going to see. And once you understand these equation, then only you can apply these equation for the next chapter, that is the electromagnetic waves. So these are simple. This chapter is very simple. Only thing is you have to understand how the equation comes. We already seen all the equation in previous 2 chapters, but we are going to relate it now, express it in terms of Maxwell's equation. So there are 4 to 5 basic equation for each different fields. Okay, so what are those fields we are going to see? So let us start. So these equations, Maxwell's equations, are stated in the for time varying fields, and secondly it is for stated for static fields. Static fields means those fields which are not varying with time. Like for example, flux. If flux is there and it is not varying with time, then it is static flux. Charge is a quantity which is not varying with time. It is only a static quantity. But when the charge moves with respect to time, then we can say that the charge is nothing but the current. Charge in a given time is nothing but the current. Now, so if such kind of quantity is present like current, then the equation which are related to current, that becomes time varying, that are related to time varying fields. So static fields means the fields which are not changing with respect to time, and time varying fields means there is a dependency of time for the various quantity, because they are changing with respect to time. So these two fields are there, static fields and time varying fields. For both the fields, we are going to see the equations differently. Same equations are there, but there is with respect to time derivative term will be there in the time varying fields. In static field, there is no time relation is there. So t, small t, जो आपण टाइम इंडिकेट करतो तो स्टॅटिक फील्ड मध्ये कुठेही येत नाही. टाइम वेरिंग मध्ये dt किंवा डोटी हा टाइम वेरिएशन आपल्याला दिसतं. हा फरक आहे. So what are those equations? Why we are going to study these Maxwell's equation? Let us study the next point. So first thing, the Maxwell's equations are describing major relationships between changing electric and magnetic fields. Okay, so these equations relate electric field and magnetic field. So we already know that Faraday, Oersted, these scientists have stated different laws, and ultimately what is found is, whenever there is an electric field, there is a magnetic field. Okay, whenever there is a presence of electric field is there, then there is always presence of magnetic field, because electric field will send charges. When charges move, there will be a current. When there is a current, there will be some magnetic field is generated, and when there is a magnetic field, EMF is generated. So both the fields are related to each other. So Maxwell's equations are majorly used to indicate these relationships, right? Then the next point is, Maxwell's equations are extension of the known work of Gauss law, Faraday's, and Ampere's. So already we have seen these laws. Gauss law we have seen. Faraday's law we are going to see again here. Faraday's law is majorly used in the transformer principle, and Ampere's law we have seen in the 3rd chapter. So all these laws relate electric field and magnetic field. They state some electricity fundas and magnetic field fundas. So these equations, these laws we are going to state in terms of equation. So there are two forms of Maxwell's equation. First, integral form of Maxwell's equation, and second, differential or point form of Maxwell's equation. Integral form means the things which are related in terms of integration. Closed integration of h dot dl is equal to I by Ampere's law. हे आपण बघितलंय. Closed integration of h bar, where h bar is what? Magnetic field intensity, dot dl bar, where dl bar is what? Length. So h bar dot dl bar is equal to I. So this kind of equation is known as integral form of Maxwell's equation, derived from Ampere's law. Like that, which law is used to derive that, and whether it is in integral form or whether it is in point form, that we have to see. So this is known as integral form. And when we write in terms of some differential form, or we write in terms of some del cross or del dot, something like this, then it will known as point form. It is known as point form. So both things we are going to find out, what is the integral form and what is the point form of the same equation. Okay, so there are two basic forms of Maxwell's equation. One is integral form and the other one is point form. Then the third part, Maxwell's equation in integral form governs the independence of certain field and source quantities associated with the region in space, surface and volumes. We know that Q is equal to triple integration of rho v dv. So Q is a charge. It is a source of some quantity, like electrical quantity. So Q is equal to triple integration of rho v dv. So it is also called as Maxwell. It is not actually Maxwell's equation, but from this equation we are going to derive the next part of that Maxwell's equation, main part of the Maxwell's equation, and hence this equation is known as integral form of some kind of electric field equation. So integration, when integration comes, then it is known as integral form of Maxwell's equation. And when in differential form of Maxwell's equation, like in the fourth point, the differential form of Maxwell's equation relate characteristics of field vectors, means E bar or H bar or D bar at a given point to another field or another source, and to the source densities at that point. Okay, so it can relate B bar to H bar, or it can relate B bar to some other quantities in electric field, or it can relate E bar, that is electric field quantity, with B bar, that is magnetic field quantity. Okay, and in this way this Maxwell's equation relate both the fields, इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड आणि मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड. तर इंटिग्रल फॉर्म मध्ये फक्त आपण सोर्स अँड करंट और चार्जेस which are present on space, volume and surfaces, that we are going to represent. And in differential form we are going to represent actual fields like H bar, E bar. These fields we are going to relate with flux densities or other densities at in different fields. Okay, so these are the four major points we have discussed. What is the main thing? Maxwell's equation relate electric and magnetic field quantities, right? And there are two types. One is integral form and the other one is differential form. Then the next, so these are again the same thing. Maxwell's equations are vector quantities which governs the electric and magnetic fields. Generally they are developed for time varying fields, but they can be reduced from static fields. जर आपल्याकडे टाइम वेरिंग फील्डचे मॅक्सवेल्स इक्वेशन असतील तर आपण त्याच्यामधले त्याचं रिडक्शन आपण स्टॅटिक फॉर्म साठी करू शकतो आपण. So we'll start with the first law, that is Faraday's law, and this Faraday's law we have seen it is used in the principle of transformer. So what is done in the transformer? When we apply electric field to the primary windings, okay, electric field, AC field to the primary windings, then some current is flowing through that primary coil, and when the current flows in the primary coil, the magnetic field is induced surrounding that coil, right? And when we bring the secondary coil, that is secondary of the transformer, in nearby the primary coil, then automatically what happens? Flux, whatever the flux generated in the primary side, that is getting linked with the secondary coil, and because of that flux is changing with respect to time, some kind of current or some EMF is induced in the secondary side of the transformers. This principle of transformer we know. So that EMF induced is given by Faraday's law. So Faraday has discovered these things experimentally, and whatever induced EMF will be there, that allows some kind of current to flow, right, in the closed path. So we are going to relate these all things together. So what Michael Faraday has discovered experimentally, that a current was induced in a conducting loop when a magnetic flux linking the loop is changed. The current which is induced indicates the existence of voltage or and relationship between induced EMF and rate of change of flux linkage, and that is known as Faraday's law. So whatever EMF that is induced on the secondary side of the transformer, that is linked to the variation of flux, and it is given by E is equal to minus d phi by dt. Right? What is d phi? It is magnetic flux. So it is rate of change of flux with respect to time, and that is given by EMF. So this is a EMF induced voltage induced at the secondary side of the loop. Okay, in a closed path, the electric potential is developed due to time varying magnetic field. Electric potential, or you can say it is EMF, it is electric potential is developed due to time varying magnetic field in the vicinity of closed path. Now here in this equation, you can see there is a negative sign. E is equal to minus d phi by dt. Negative sign indicates that whatever induced EMF is there, that opposes the cause of producing it. Okay, so the polarity of induced EMF is such that it produces a current whose magnetic field opposes the change which produces it. Okay, so flux is causing EMF. So whatever EMF induced, that will oppose the change of flux in return, right? So these things are related by Faraday's law. Now how this equation is used as a Maxwell's equation? Let us see. So total magnetic flux. So how the phi is related? Phi t. Phi m means flux in the magnetic field with respect to time t. We know this all relationship already. Flux in a magnetic field is given by integration of b bar dot ds bar. What is b bar? What is b bar? B bar is magnetic flux density. ds bar should be there. So ds bar is surface area. Means what? Flux in a magnetic field is equal to surface integration of magnetic field density multiplied by area through which the flux is crossing. So this is open flux through that area. The terminals of the loop, now this flux is because of that magnetic field generated inside the primary coil, and that flux is related to the magnetic field density. The terminals of the loops are separated by infinitely small distance. Therefore, we assume that the loop can be closed. The electric potential, so we know that electric potential we already know this equation. Potential is expressed by V is equal to minus integration of E bar and dot dl bar. In the electrostatic field, we have seen equation capital V, but that equation there was because of charge, that is Q, right? But here, whatever potential E bar developed because of this kind of loop in the secondary side, E bar is equal to minus d phi by dt. Same voltage can be expressed in terms of E bar, electric field, because since magnetic field is generated, electric field was there, and that we have applied. So we can apply the same relationship that we have derived already in the electrostatic field, and we can use it here. So what EMF, whatever generated, that we can call as potential, and that potential is given by minus integration of closed integration of E bar dot dl bar. Why closed? Because the path was closed. At the secondary side, the path is closed. Only thing we are taking the, so V is given by minus closed integration of E bar dot dl bar. E bar is the electric field that is applied. Dl bar is the path through which that electric field is circulated. But this electric field is circulated in the primary, and what voltage we are getting is at the secondary side. And minus sign we already know because it opposes the source, or it opposes the reason or the cause of producing it. Right. So this equation we are got V is equal to closed integration of E bar dot dl bar. Now these are the basics of Faraday's law. What is Faraday's law? What is the basic equation? Then what is phi mt, and what is EMF? It can be expressed in terms of EDL. Yes, it can be expressed in terms of EDL. Now the actual part of Maxwell's equation comes. So The first equation of Maxwell's equation is derived from Faraday's law. First equation of Maxwell's is derived from Faraday's law. And what is it? It states that EMF induced in the secondary side, if you take the closed integration of this EMF, then it is equal to 0. Okay, the EMF induced in a loop when magnetic flux is changing in the vicinity of it is equal to 0. Okay, if the path is closed, then this EDL will become 0. If the path is open, or if we can able to take the voltage outside, then it has some value. But for static field means if the current is not changing with respect to time, if the phi m is not changing with respect to time, if this phi m is not changing with respect to time, then obviously E is equal to 0. बरोबर आहे. जर फ्लक्स टाइम नुसार व्हेरिएशन होत असेल तरच आपल्याला ईएमएफ इंड्युस्ड मिळते. ट्रान्सफॉर्मरला जर आपण डीसी दिलं तर ट्रान्सफॉर्मर वर्क होत नाही. We have to apply some changing quantity with respect to time. We have to apply changing electric field with respect to time, and hence in this case for static field, closed integration of E bar dot dl bar is equal to 0. So this is the first basic equation of derived from Faraday's law. Understand it? This equation is known as integral form. Okay, this equation is known as integral form because there is closed integration present, and this closed integration is line integration. कारण इथं काय आहे, dl bar आहे, त्यामुळे ह्याला आपण काय म्हणणार आहे, closed line integration of E bar dot dl bar is equal to 0. This is integral form of Maxwell's equation for which field? Static field. For static field. Now we will apply some theorems like Gauss theorem or Stokes theorem. Now we will apply Stokes theorem. Now as there is a line integration of some quantity, some electrical quantity or magnetic quantity, how Stokes theorem is applied? Line integration is equal to surface integration. So according to Stokes theorem, closed line integration of E bar dot dl bar is equal to surface integration of del cross E dot ds. But आपण स्टोक्स थेरम कुठं बघितलाय? मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड मध्ये बघितलाय, आणि तिथं आपण काय लिहिलं होतं? क्लोज्ड लाईन इंटिग्रेशन ऑफ एच बार डॉट डीएल बार इज इक्वल टू surface integration of del cross H dot ds that we have seen in case of magnetic field chapter. But the same Stokes theorem we have applied for electric field E bar. The field can be anything. We can apply the Stokes theorem, and we can say that line integration is equal to surface integration of curl of that vector quantity. So same we have used here. So closed integration of E bar dot dl bar is equal to surface integration of del cross E dot ds, and we already know that this is equal to 0. E bar dot dl bar is equal to 0. Hence we can say that the second part, that is right hand side of this equation, is also 0. That is del cross E bar dot ds bar is also 0. Okay, so if you remove this ds, because there is no variation, so we can say that directly this ds means what? Surface area, and surface area is never 0, so we can say that del cross E is 0, right? So del cross E must be 0, then only this right hand side holds correct, right? So the point form, this del cross E is equal to 0, is called as point form of Maxwell's equation derived from Faraday's law, and closed integration of E dl is equal to 0 is called as integral form of Maxwell's equation derived from Faraday's law, right? So this is the first Maxwell's equation. What is related here? Del cross E is equal to 0 we obtain. Now there is nothing here at the right hand side, no magnetic field is there, quantity is there at the right hand side, remember, since these fields are static fields. Okay, so for static fields only the field quantities are related to 0 or some other constant values. Okay, So first this equation is integral form and the second equation we obtain is a point form. Now second law, what is Ampere law? Second equation we are going to see. Ampere's law states that if we circulate magnetic field intensity, that is H bar, if we circulate magnetic field intensity H bar through a closed path, then what we obtain? We obtain the current I. We obtain the current I or I enclosed, right? That we have seen in the Ampere's law in the third chapter. So in equation form, how it is written? I is equal to closed integration of H bar dot dl bar. I is equal to closed integration of H bar dot dl bar. Now I is already, we know that it is also equal to surface integration of J bar dot ds bar, where J bar is what? It is current density. So current density means current passing through an area, given area, unit area, right? So it is measured in ampere per meter square. So J bar is current density, and if we multiply that density by ds bar, then we'll get current. So I is equal to surface integration or double integration of J bar dot ds bar, and that is also equal to now closed line integration of H bar dot dl bar. So both things are related now, right? So this equation H bar dot dl bar is equal to I is integral form of Maxwell's equation. I is equal to closed line integration of H bar dot dl bar is Maxwell's second equation derived from Ampere's law. Now what is next? We have to reduce it to the point form, right? So we again apply the Stokes theorem. Now here again we are finding that there is a line integration. So can we convert line integration into surface integration? Yes, we can apply Stokes theorem. What is Stokes theorem? Close the line integration of H bar dot dl bar. This is real Stokes theorem applied to magnetic field intensity, right? So closed integration of H bar dot dl bar is equal to surface integration of del cross H bar dot ds bar, right? So from first equation, this equation and this second equation, what we can conclude? We can conclude that now there is a surface integration in first equation, there is surface integration in second equation, so we can equate these quantities because their right hand side and here left hand side are same HDL are same. So we can say that surface integration of del cross H dot ds bar is equal to surface integration of J bar dot ds bar. Okay, from the above two equation we can say that del cross H ds is equal to J dot ds. Now if you apply derivative or if you remove integration and if you remove surface variation, then what is the final equation? ds is same, surface integration is same. So we can remove this and we can write del cross H is equal to J bar. Del cross H is equal to J bar. So here again this known as cross sign is there. So this type of equation is known as point form of Ampere's law, a point form of Maxwell's equation derived from Ampere's law. Now here H is related to J and J is related to I. So field quantity is related to the source quantities. H field is related to the source, that is current I. So again I'm saying this is the point form of Maxwell's equation derived from Ampere's law. Del cross H is equal to J. So these two are the second equation. First equation is integral form, closed integration of H dl is equal to I, and the second equation is point form, del cross H bar is equal to J bar. That is the point form of second Maxwell's equation. Right. So let me check the attendance. Okay. Whether the PPT is visible? Yes or no? Anybody can reply.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have seen two laws. One is Faraday's law, second one is Ampere's law, and we have stated two equations for both the laws, right? Now next, the part, third equation. We are going to use now Gauss law. What Gauss law states? What is the statement of the Gauss law? First, we have to write the statement here. The Gauss law states that surface integration. Now here circle sign is there, closed sign is there. So closed surface integration of d bar dot ds bar is equal to q enclosed. And what is d bar? D bar is electric flux density. D bar is electric flux density. And ds bar is surface area. Right? So closed surface integration of d bar dot ds bar is equal to q enclosed. Q enclosed. What is Q? Q is charge present. So if charge is enclosed inside a surface, then flux will be generated, and that flux, when it comes out of that surface, then we get the quantity that is called as flux density d bar. Okay, so this Q enclosed is also indicated by flux psi. Right, flux and Q both are measured in coulombs, and D is measured in coulomb per meter square. So this equation, now what is Q? What is Q? Q is also equal to triple integration of rho v dv. Q is also equal to triple integration of rho v dv. So this equation, whatever we have written here, closed integration of d ds is equal to Q is equal to triple integration of rho v dv is called as Maxwell's third equation, or Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law for electric field, static electric field, right? So Q is equal to surface or closed surface integration of dds bar, and that is equal to volume integration of rho v dv. What is rho v? Rho v is volume charge density, right? So these are integral forms of Gauss law. Now we are going to reduce it to the point form, shortest form, right? So we can use the divergence theorem. Now as there is a surface integration and volume integration, which we can use divergence theorem, because divergence theorem already know we that it is relating surface integration of to the volume integration. So same equation we have seen in the electrostatic field, d ds is equal to triple integration of rho v dv. And what is divergence theorem? Divergence theorem states is like this. It is surface integration of any vector quantity over surface ds. Closed surface integration should be there. So closed surface integration of d bar dot ds bar is equal to volume integration of divergence of d into dv. Okay, volume integration of divergence of that vector quantity into dv. So dv is equation of the volume, right? So closed surface integration of dds is equal to volume integration of del dot d bar into dv. This is the divergence theorem, and same divergence theorem, the quantity is same, so we have written like this. Now let us equate these two equations, the first equation and the second equation. So in the first equation there is volume integration of rho v. In the third equation there is a volume integration of del dot d, right? So from equation number this two, which one is equation number 2 and equation number 3, we can say that del dot d bar is equal to rho v. Volume integration here, that can be removed, and we can write del dot d bar is equal to rho v. Okay, so this equation is known as Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law, and it is point form of Maxwell's equation for static fields. Remember, there is a change in some equation for time varying fields. In time varying, we are going to see same equations, but there is some time varying quantities are there, right? So again, I'm stating Gauss law is given by closed integration of d bar dot ds bar is equal to q enclosed, and that is equal to psi, and but we know that q is equal to surface integration of dds, and it is also equal to volume integration of rho v dv. This is equation number 2, and this equation we can say that it is integral form of Gauss law. Now to reduce this law, we are using divergence theorem. According to divergence theorem, surface integration is equal to volume integration. So we can write dds, close the surface integration of dds is equal to volume integration of del dot d into dv. Equation number 2, equation number 2 and equation number 3, if we relate their right hand sides, if we equate their right hand sides, then what we get? Volume integration of rho v dv is equal to volume integration of del dot d into dv. So if you remove the integration, the left quantities are del dot d bar is equal to rho v. So this is the point form of Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law for steady electric field. Okay, so this is third equation. Fourth one. Now let us move to the next point. So these are the next two equations from Gauss law. Next equation. Now there is only one more law, Gauss law, for magnetic field also. There is, because in magnetic field there is also flux present, and that flux we call as phi. Okay, so that phi is given by phi net phi. Total phi is equal to closed integration of b bar dot ds bar is equal to 0. What does it mean? In magnetic field, b bar is known as magnetic field density. B bar is known as magnetic field density, right? Means magnetic field present on a given area, that is known as magnetic field density. जसं आपण इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड मध्ये d bar बघितलंय, तसं magnetic field मध्ये that is known as magnetic flux field density b bar. And if I take the dot product of b bar dot ds bar, okay, magnetic field flux divided by area multiplied by area, then only magnetic field flux will remain. So what is the equation? Phi net is equal to closed surface integration of b bar dot ds bar. Closed surface integration of b bar dot ds bar. Now see here, one small figure is shown here. Okay, so in this figure, a closed surface area is shown like this, and through that surface area, flux is entering and flux is leaving. Okay, whatever flux entering into the surface, that is leaving. In case of magnetic field, the flux lines are circular. We proved this, all the things. The flux lines are circular, because if this kind of filament is present through which current is passing, then magnetic field is surrounding that filament. H bar कसं असते? Surrounding that filament असते, बरोबर? So H bar म्हणजेच B bar. H bar हे intensity आहे, B bar आहे flux density आहे. Flux density is measured in Weber per meter square. So this field is in circular form. So if we place a volume like this, then whatever flux enters into the volume, that much amount of flux should leave the volume, is leaving the volume, right? So hence this closed integration is equal to 0. जर हे इंटिग्रेशन क्लोज्ड नसतं तर तिथं आपण काहीतरी फ्लक्स कॅल्क्युलेट करू शकतो. So some amount of flux will be generated, and that flux was measured in Webers. Okay, if the surface is not closed, then we can find the flux in magnetic field, and that is measured in Webers. But if the surface is closed, arbitrary surface is closed, then total flux, net flux crossing the surface is equal to 0. Okay, so net current at the node is 0. So similar to that, net flux inside that or at that closed surface is equal to 0. and this equation is known as closed integration of b bar dot ds bar is equal to 0 is known as integral form of Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law for magnetic field. Derived from Gauss law of magnetic field. Closed surface integration of b bar dot ds bar is equal to 0 is integral form of Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law for magnetic field, static magnetic field. Right. Now we have to reduce this equation to the point form or differential form. Point form is nothing but differential form. So what we can do now, as there is a surface integration present, we can use surface integration is equal to volume integration दाखवायला पाहिजे. मग कुठला लॉ यूज करायला पाहिजे? डायव्हर्जन्स थेरम यूज करायला पाहिजे. राइट. So we can apply divergence theorem or Stokes theorem to any vector quantity. Now here the vector quantity is b bar. So according to divergence theorem, what is divergence theorem? Surface integration of any vector quantity is equal to volume integration of del dot of that vector quantity. Right. So here we are expressing b bar. So closed surface integration of b bar dot ds bar is equal to volume integration of del dot b into dv, and that is already 0. So this is also 0. Okay, small dv is what? Volume, equation of the volume. Del dot d bar means divergence of b bar, and b ds is nothing but flux phi. Right. So according to divergence theorem, what we have related? We have related surface integration to volume integration. Now look at the second part here. Del dot b dv is equal to 0. So we can write the second equation as it is. Integration of del dot b bar into dv is equal to 0. If we remove the integration, volume is not changing with respect to, volume will not be 0 at any time. Then we can write del dot b is 0. Okay. As this quantity is not 0, this quantity should be 0. So del dot b bar is 0. So del dot b bar is 0 is called as point form of Gauss law. Point form of Gauss law derived for Gauss law for magnetic field. Point form of Gauss law derived from magnetic field, static magnetic field. Del dot b bar is equal to 0. Okay. So this is the fourth part of the Maxwell's equation. This is the integration part, and this is the point part. Now next, last equation we are left with, the continuity equation of the current. Okay. So here I is related to j, and what is point form of that j, that we are going to see. So continuity, this is also known as continuity equation of current. So later on we are going to see what is that equation in more detail. So for example, just I have told you the current entering inside a node is equal to current leaving through that node, that we have seen in the circuit theorems. Whatever current enter inside a node in an electric circuit is equal to total amount of current leaving. So you always write equations like I1 is equal to I2 plus I3 like that. So same phenomena is used here. So from that we can derive Maxwell's equation, one more equation relating I and j. So what is I? I is equal to closed integration of j bar dot ds bar, or it is closed surface integration of j bar dot ds bar. But if the surface integration is getting closed, right, means what? If you relate some volume, if you relate a surface, and if that surface becomes closed, then it will become a volume like this. Okay. So if the surface becomes closed, then the equation, the quantity reduces to 0. So I is equal to 0 if this integration is closed. If this integration is not closed, then we will get some value of I in terms of amperes. Okay. If you are measuring only outgoing current, then it is having some value. But if you are saying that outgoing current and incoming currents are there, then they are opposite to each other. So they will cancel each other, and the net current through the node, or net current through a volume similar to a node is 0. Right. So closed surface integration of j bar dot ds bar is equal to I, and that is equal to 0. What is j bar? J bar is current density. J bar is current density and it is measured in ampere per meter square. Okay, and what we can write? Current entering is equal to current leaving. So this I is equal to j integration of j bar dot ds bar is equal to 0 is called as integral form of Maxwell's equation from continuity equation. Okay, so this equation I is equal to j bar dot ds bar we have seen in some lecture. We have related there these quantities when we see the basics of current, basics of charge and all the things. Okay, now we apply divergence theorem. So what divergence theorem states? Now here surface integration is present, so we can relate surface integration to volume integration. So we can write, now here closed surface integration of j bar dot ds bar is equal to del dot j into dv, volume integration of del dot j into dv, and that is equal to 0 from equation 1, right? So we can write del dot j into dv is equal to 0, but dv doesn't become 0, dv 0 असणार नहीं. So what we can write? Del dot j bar is equal to 0, right? So this is called as point form of Maxwell's equation derived from continuity equation. Point form of Maxwell's equation derived from continuity equation. And what is it? Divergence of current density del dot j bar is 0. Divergence of current density, that is del dot j bar, is equal to 0. So up till now we have derived 5 relationship. First relationship we have derived from Faraday's law. What Faraday states that if the input voltage is AC, then you will get EMF. But if input voltage is not AC, means it is not changing with time, hence flux will not vary with time, hence whatever integration E dl we are getting is equal to 0. So EMF for steady quantities is 0. EMF is only generated for time varying quantities, right? So EMF is equal to closed integration of E dl is equal to 0, and this is integral form and its point form is del cross E is equal to 0. So this is first Maxwell's equation for static field derived from Faraday's law. Second Maxwell's equation relate HDL and with I and J. So according to Ampere's law, closed line integration of HDL is equal to I, and by Stokes theorem we know that closed line integration of HDL is equal to del cross H, that is curl of H dot ds. Line integration is equal to surface integration. So if you reduce this and equate equation number 1 and 2, then what we get? Del cross H ds is equal to J ds. So if you remove integration, because these are similar quantities ds, then what we get? Del cross H is equal to J. This is point form of Maxwell's equation derived from Ampere's law. One is integral form and this is the point form. Third equation is derived from Gauss law of electric field. Gauss law is dds is equal to q enclosed, but q enclosed is equal to triple integration of rho v dv. So this equation number 2 is integral form of Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law of electric field. Now after applying divergence theorem, we reduce this equation and what we found? Del dot d bar is equal to rho v. So del dot d bar is equal to rho v is point form of Maxwell's equation using Gauss law for electric field. Okay, static electric field. Next is Gauss law for magnetic field. The net flux passing through a closed surface is equal to 0. This is the Gauss law for magnetic field. Now this is integral form of Maxwell's fourth equation, and using divergence theorem, if we relate surface integration to volume integration, then we obtain del dot B bar is equal to 0, where B bar is magnetic flux density. And this is point form of Maxwell's equation derived from Gauss law of magnetic field. Okay, static magnetic field. And the fourth one is we are using continuity equation that where we relate J bar. Okay, so J bar is equal to what, or I is equal to what? Closed integration of J ds. If the integration is closed, then it is equal to 0, because net current entering is equal to net current leaving. Hence, now this J bar dot ds bar is surface integration. So we can use divergence theorem to convert surface integration into volume integration. So J bar dot ds bar is equal to del dot J into dV is equal to 0. This is volume integration. And hence we can write del dot J is equal to 0. So this is final fifth equation, point form of Maxwell's equation derived from continuity equation. Okay, so this is the integral form and this last equation is point form. So in total, we have derived 5 equations. Out of 5 equations, the first 4 equations are major equations. So whenever someone asks you what are the Maxwell's equation for static field, then you have to claim these equations. First equation, del cross D bar, or you can consider any one equation is first equation, del dot D bar is equal to rho v. This equation is from Gauss law of electric field. Second equation is del cross E bar is equal to 0. Conservative property of the static electric field. Static electric field असेल तर del cross E 0 असते, otherwise नाही. Del cross H bar is equal to J bar. That is derived from Ampere's law, point form of Ampere's law. And last one, del dot B bar is equal to 0. This is derived from Gauss law of magnetic field. So these 4 equations are very important equations that relate some electric field quantities with either magnetic field quantities or their sources. Del dot D, del dot B, del cross H and del cross E. Okay, and out of these 4 equations we are going to use in the next chapter always. We start everything from this 4th equation, so that because 5th chapter is electromagnetic waves chapter, and in electromagnetic waves means what? It consists of electric field and magnetic field. And whenever if you want to represent any electromagnetic wave in terms of any equation, then we have to use this four equation. We have to start with this 4th equation and represent these quantities in terms of time variations and space variation. Okay, so now this is static field, but we are going to use same equations but for time varying fields. Okay, so these are the 4 major equations of Maxwell's for static fields. Now D bar is what? Magnetic electric flux density, and it is also equal to epsilon naught E. And B bar is what? Magnetic flux density, and it is equal to mu naught H. If the space is free, then you use epsilon and mu naught. Right? So again, then there is a chart created in exam. The chart may be asked. Write all the integral form and point form of Maxwell's equation. So once again, let us review all the equations. You can write these equations directly in your book right now. First equation is from Ampere's law, or you can consider any one equations. So Ampere's law, HDL is equal to JDS, that is integral form. Line integration is equal to surface integration, and if it is reduced, then we can write del cross H is equal to J. Faraday's law, from Faraday's law we can write closed integration of E bar dot dl bar is equal to 0, and if it is reduced to point form, its point form is del cross E is equal to 0. Third, Gauss law, for electric field dds is equal to rho v dv, and point form is del dot d bar is equal to rho v. Rho v is volume charge density in coulomb per meter cube. Del dot d bar is equal to rho v. Gauss law, from Gauss law of magnetic field, the next equation is integral form is B bar dot ds bar. Closed integration of B bar dot ds bar is equal to 0, and del dot B bar is equal to 0. that is point form. And last, continuity equation. Continuity equation means j bar, close the integration of j bar dot ds bar is equal to 0, del cross j, sorry, del dot j is equal to 0, that is point form. So here all the equations are in integral form, here all the equations are in point form. Point form equation use divergence or curl expression. Form always use closed integration. See here, always there are closed integration we are seeing in the static field. Okay, so remember, you have to remember this chart. So understood everybody? Is there any problem? Discuss with me.